Hello, classmates. Denis isn't sure about his dunes. Middle class film class Oscars payoff. Liam Neeson has some big shoes to fill. And people are just sick of the movies.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Welcome to Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
And I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And we have a great show for you today. Welcome to the Twitch streamers, YouTube live and otherwise, and the OG classmates in podcast land. That's right, we're live on YouTube for the first time ever. Welcome.
Yes.
I hope we're live. I hope you can see us on YouTube.
I think so.
Maybe so. Who
Yeah.
cares? Who cares? Who gives a shit?
Oh, I see a Joseph Navarro Jr. in the chat. We're there.
Wait, he's in the chat?
Yes, he's in two places at once. Actually, he's in the chat because he's sick. He's sick still. How you
There,
feeling?
two places at once.
How you feeling, buddy?
I feel better,
Oh, good.
but these symptoms just won't go away.
You
And
look great, I gotta say.
Do you think it's you didn't test positive for the 19?
No, this is just a run-of-the-mill cold virus.
Joseph doesn't believe in the Corona 19.
No,
Oh, he doesn't. Oh, that's news to me.
no, it's just the flu, right?
What is the
What is the flu?
Yeah.
Is that, you just asked that question?
Yes, I did. What is a flu?
What's a flu, anyways? Besides,
What is that?
Besides an aeration device for a fireplace.
It's not real. I don't believe in any cold or flu virus whatsoever.
They're just demons. They're spirits.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that right? Okay.
I've been doing so much bloodletting, you have no idea.
Oh, wow. Leeches too.
So, welcome back, Joseph. Welcome, Tyler. Hi, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. Why are we starting 45 minutes late?
Well, I ran into a bunch of red lights and I...
Red lights. That's what he calls them.
Red lights, you drive on the freeway for the most part.
I ran into a bunch of red lights, a.k.a. Kuntazis off of
Kuntazis.
off of Tinder.
You keep your mouth shut about that.
I had lovely young ladies lined up around the block,
Yeah.
servicing your needs.
Yeah, you know my way. You know my way. The reason why we were starting late is, one, I overslept, and two, I ran into a bunch of red lights.
I ran into red
Okay,
lights.
all right.
Yes.
What do you mean, okay, all right? I
Well,
don't
you
like
overslept, and then you had to watch the movie.
Yeah.
that. That's right.
On the
That's
way
right.
over here.
Yeah, on the way over here. I had my iPhone really handy, and
You've done it before.
Yes.
I have.
Hey, while we're talking you sickness, Joseph, you weren't here for the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves episode. Did you watch the movie?
Yes, I did watch the movie. I watched it while you guys were recording.
Oh, okay. Could you give us your take on that, on how you liked the movie or didn't like the movie?
Yeah, so I listened to the episode, and so Pete's really high on it,
Yes.
but there's like a nostalgia factor to it because it played a lot
Yeah.
during childhood.
Yeah.
Tyler was mid on it. And this movie, like, I've definitely heard of this movie. I've never seen it. It was not part of my childhood. I only know the song, the Bryan Adams song.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that at my oldest brother's wedding, that was their first dance song.
Oh no.
It was one of two Bryan Adams songs. And I know Kevin Costner is Robin Hood. And
Okay.
that's all I knew about it.
Okay.
And watching it, this movie was ass.
Ass. What? It was ass.
Why?
it was
Why,
ass.
Joseph? Why?
Why? Because you saw an ass. You saw Kevin
I
Costner's
saw
flat butt.
Kevin Costner's ass, and I thought, there it is.
There it is.
That's the movie.
That's the description of the movie. It's ass. My
Didn't
biggest.
like it?
Yeah, like
It was actually pretty good.
ass. Pretty good.
Well, then, what's this commentary
What about
that you're having?
what about Alan
Call
Rickman?
it sarcasm, Tyler.
What about Alan Rickman?
I'll get there.
Okay.
The biggest
Oh my
problem
God.
with the movie was that it was boring.
Okay.
It was boring and it was dull. It was so dull.
Okay.
It was like it couldn't cut through melted butter. It was so dull.
Wow. Interesting.
It was like they
But
filmed
you
a high
liked
school.
it, though.
It was
You
filmed.
said you
No, I
liked
don't
it.
like it. I didn't like it.
He was joking when he said that. He said it was ass,
he was-
and then you asked how he liked it.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
It
continue.
was like they filmed like a high school production of Robin Hood.
Oh,
That's what it felt
wow.
like.
Wow.
Costner, you guys talked about Costner as like the weakest part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's definitely like the butt end of a stale loaf of bread.
But okay.
And his attempt at an English accent is more offensive than the accent itself.
Okay. I don't even think you tried.
No, he tried for the beginning
tried.
and then he dropped
tried.
it.
They shot it in chronological order. By the time he makes it to England, it's gone.
I was like, he's supposed to be British, right, Robin Hood? But then the rest of the movie, like 90% of the movie, he's just like talking like
In an
he's-
American
like he's
voice.
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
His portrayal of Robin Hood was even worse. This guy is like a leader. This
Yeah.
guy's supposed to lead these people. He's not that. He's not that guy. I would
He's not
sail
a
away.
leader.
I would sail away. At that point. If this guy, I would be Christian Slater, and just leave. That would be me.
But you're abandoning your brother. Your brother.
Yeah, I would be.
Okay.
Alan Rickman. It's easy to say that he's like the best part of the movie because he is in a different movie.
Yeah.
He is like
Okay.
Nicolas Cage,
Oh, that's good.
Cage.
That's a good comparison.
and his talent and his performance is wasted in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he good? Yes, but I would not. But would you eat an untouched donut that's sitting on top of a pile of trash?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Costanza.
Yeah, I'm Costanza in this scenario.
Yeah.
It was an
I don't know.
It was an eclair, by the way.
It's a diamond
it's clear.
in
Yeah.
a pile of shit. You know what I mean?
Oh
It's,
my God.
Yeah, it was not good.
You know
So-
what? You're not the only person that thinks that, but Costner's performance brings it from a 6-star movie down to about a 5.5 down to about a 5 for me. So
That's honestly, I am concerned for your mental stability. If you're thinking this, but
nostalgia is a powerful thing, my friend.
It is.
Nostalgia, a powerful thing. Anything else you guys want to say before we get to some Gatham chatter?
Well, I just.
All right, here we
what
go.
about this weather, huh?
Here we
Find
go.
some charity, me lad. Now's the time for Gavin chatter.
How dare you, Pete?
Gatham
Like,
chatter, movie news of the week. Tyler, you're leading us off. Go ahead.
son of a bitch. Like, I was about to go wax on about the weather, but you know what? If you want to get into some movie news, then here we go.
We have a loaded show today, Tyler. No time
We're
for
already
waste.
late, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wonder
okay.
because of
why.
red lights.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right. Well, so Denis Villeneuve,
Come on.
Okay, all right.
he has mixed.
I'm gonna mute your mic if you do that again.
You're banned from the show if you do that
I'm-
one more time.
You're like stepping on Joseph's hero.
Come on, just go with the bit. All right.
Okay, great bit. Continue.
Like the panel.
A
I
plus.
would if it was good.
A plus.
If it was good.
Yeah. A
Okay,
plus.
all right. So Denis, he has mixed feelings when embarking on this adaptation of Dune.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of people there. Have you guys heard of the unreleased Dune film?
Yeah, it's Hodorowski's.
Yeah,
Alejandro Jodorowsky's made film.
It's like I thought it was like a TV series or something, or a series.
I thought it was too, but I read that it was supposed to be a actual like film, and it was cut out. And so now Denis, he felt because he was so impassioned about going forward with this Dune film or the Dune series film. I think he's not doing a third one, right?
He is doing a third one.
He's doing a third one?
Yeah. So what's the story though?
Well, so the story is he has mixed feelings, and so he goes on to saying, I have mixed feelings.
Okay. Great.
He says, I have mixed feelings. When I embarked on this adaptation, the first artist I approached was Hans Zimmer, which surprised me because he's just a composer. Like, he's not...
Just a composer.
Well, yeah.
So apparently Denis cares much, like he thinks that the soundtrack, the score for the movie is going to be the most impactful, important thing
Well,
about the
that's
movie.
what I was getting into. I was saying how surprising it was for Hans Zimmer to be like an integral part of the Dune series. because the soundtrack really, like, it didn't hit me. Like, it's not like, I don't know, like
It's not too late to delete what you just said.
Oh, it isn't? Okay.
No, you can't. I can delete it from the internet if you want.
Oh, please don't. No, because like
You didn't like the soundtrack? You didn't think it was any stirring whatsoever?
I thought it was good, but like it wasn't like
You'd rather have yakety sax playing?
yeah. Exactly.
Be like
Exactly.
Lincoln Park
Yes.
at the end of Transformers?
Yes. But he had mixed feelings about the film, and I thought this was a really good discussion because he described it as a film that would like he described the story of Dune being like something like integral to his childhood. And so him embarking on that journey to make his childhood dream, it's interesting because he took so much care. He took so much care into this film.
The fact that it's his childhood, like one of the most influential sci-fi pieces to him as a now sci-fi movie maker.
Right.
I can only imagine the emotions, the complex emotions that come with that.
Well, because he's having there's so much passion to it.
Well, he wants to be
And-
successful. He doesn't want to sully it.
And I don't really care about Dune. I don't care about the story or anything like that. But what I will say, when I did first watch it, it felt like it was in great care. And so I think that him having this apprehension of making a good movie it's heroic. He knew
He's a hero.
He knew what he had to do. Yes, he was a hero, Joseph. He was a hero for the Dune franchise. David Lynch could have given a good goddamn about the Dune series, but Denis did.
Yeah.
And so
I just can't get over the fact you be calling him Denis over and over again.
come on.
It's not even that hard. Just it's his name.
It's less work.
Wait a minute, it's Denis?
Yes, it's
It's
Denis.
less work.
Okay.
Okay, well, I didn't know.
Binge Lord Dan, if you're in the chat still, do you still want to stick up for Tyler? He had some nice things to say about you.
Oh,
I don't know if they're going to be retracted at this point.
yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. But anyways, so I thought it was like it made him a human for him to. What was that, Joseph?
I'm like lost on what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What made it made who human?
it made Denis human to take this franchise and make it to his to make it to the best of his ability to
Continue.
all right. No, I already know that's the move along sign.
No, that's not the move along sign.
Go ahead.
That's the move along sign.
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, that's right.
This
So
is
he
the-
took something.
This is the sound that
He took something that was dear to his heart and then he made it to the best of his ability. And he was self-conscious about it. And that's what I really appreciate him admitting to /film.com. It's a very
It's a high risk because of the nature of Dune and the story that it is.
Correct.
Because failed movie Jodorowsky's version unmade, and then Lynch's failed movie as well that he did make.
Correct.
That is, people like it, but is probably not really a good movie.
Yeah.
And apparently it includes a lot of stuff from the book. Like it tackles a lot of things that are in the book that maybe Denis' version doesn't. But it still doesn't. The quality of the movie is still not that good.
He was able to create this universe that is beloved by many sci-fi fans into a film that is accepted by general audiences, which is a Herculean feat to do.
Yeah, and there's people who are like the Dune purists, like the people who have read and love the book, will be it seems like there's people who are like, well, he didn't include this, he didn't include the Space Guild, and he didn't do this, and actually they have a child together by the end of the book, and they didn't do that in the movie. And there's a lot that is excluded from the story in the movie.
Correct.
But for people like me who have a sort of secondhand knowledge of the book because I'm with somebody who has read the book or most of the book, but it helps having a little bit of insight sometimes. But as like someone who has really no knowledge of the lore, the movies themselves, I think, for me, do a really good job of just like world building and character building.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, even though I wasn't super sold on the movie, I think that with the movie is just really well crafted. It looks great, and even if you didn't know about Dune, this movie would be just a great sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it is.
And I think
I don't know anything about the movies, and I love it. Second one was not as good in my opinion, but I think that I'm gonna rewatch it again at home and see how I like it with subtitles because I came up really high on the first one after subtitles.
I can't tell you the hold that part 2 has on me.
Yeah,
right now, because
you're not alone either.
It's left. It's ruined me for other movies.
What?
It's left a gaping hole in my heart that I have yet to watch a movie and experience the same amount of movie high.
Wow.
And the further I've been removed from watching the movie, the further I've gone out from watching the movie, it's been, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit more than 2 weeks? It's just like it's occupied my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's just like remembering the certain scenes, the fucking knife fight. It's so good. And it's just other moments, just like scene after scene, like I said, is just like beautiful. It's just
I have like 4 or 5 online movie friends that are in the same boat as you, Joseph, where they're like, if you haven't seen it and they find out, that's all they're doing is like berating you. Go see Dune 2. Go see Dune 2. It will change your perception on other action and sci-fi movies, which is how I felt about the first one. But either way, there was some other
them together. It's just just wonderful, just excellent. Some of the best filmmaking
I do plan on seeing it. I don't
think you said you weren't going to.
Well, things change.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But
also, is Deanna baking a cake back there or something?
No.
All right, Tyler, do you have anything else?
No, I don't.
Okay, Joseph, what do you got for us for Gab and Chatter?
Oh, it's me. Yeah, so a couple things. The Oscars were almost a week ago.
Yeah.
And the winners have been announced. Congratulations, winners.
Yay.
Good job, Oppenheimer and Poor Things and everything.
2 big winners.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we did a sort of a half-assed job of doing some Oscar predictions. So I have the results of our winners and losers.
Cool.
And
I don't feel very good about this, to be honest.
Well, you are feeling correctly.
Damn it.
So the best picture went to Oppenheimer, and Pete got that one right.
Yes.
Me and Tyler got that wrong. Tyler got Killers of the Flower Moon, which won nothing.
I know, that was
and
a surprise.
I guess Poor Things, which didn't win. But Pete, Oppenheimer was the only one that you guessed right.
No, really? That's it?
Yep. You only got one correct.
Oh, man.
But it was the big one. So
that was worth 4 points, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So Pete got 1, so he got last. Tyler guessed, Killers of the Flower Moon for Best Picture. Wrong. Best Director, he got Yorgos, also wrong. But he got Cillian Murphy, Emma Stone, and Robert Downey Jr., and The Boy and the Heron. All correct.
Yeah, Boy and the Heron, that was kind of a surprise.
Yes, it was. And so he got 4 correct. And I got those same ones as well, except I didn't get The Boy and the Heron Across the Spider-Verse for Best Animated, but I did get Divine Joy Randolph for Best Supporting Actress.
So you guys tied for what, 3 points?
No, I got 5.
You got 5 out of what? How many did we guess? 6?
We guessed 7. So I got Nolan for Best Director. Pete guessed Jonathan Glazer and Tyler guessed Yorgos. And Nolan finally got his directing Oscar. He was previously nominated for Dunkirk for Best Directing.
Yeah.
He's been nominated 8 times for an Oscar, not for directing. He's been only nominated twice for directing. Cillian Murphy was a shoo-in, I think, and Emma Stone as well.
Yeah.
Divine Joy, I felt was a little bit of a surprise, but definitely worth the award. And The Boy and the Heron won Best Animated Feature. So I win.
Congratulations, Joseph. I'm very proud.
Thank you.
I'm proud of Tyler for not coming in last, and I am ashamed of myself. And I got to say, we made these predictions very early. I've seen probably 3 or 4 additional Best Picture movies like on nominations.
Well, I go in for the feel.
Yeah, I know you do.
Even if I didn't see the movie, I go in for the feel.
And it paid off. Tyler goes off most of his life off of vibes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely correct.
Like when we're at the Red Museum and he's like, oh, cool, it's a pool party. I'm just going to go in this
no.
I'm just going to go in this person's pool they brought.
Yeah, let's not bring that up.
The vibe is
Pool
right.
party. I'm going to get it in my jorts.
Yeah.
And
let's
this random person's pool setup they brought. And then berate them for the rest of the night because they kicked you out.
I did not berate them.
Can you believe that? They kicked me out of their pool. But so what's, Joseph, since you're the winner, what's my penance for this?
Oh, punishment? Ooh.
Is it something from the wheel?
If you want to, we could do that. We haven't done a punishment movie in a while.
What have I done?
You made your bed. Now it's time to sleep in it. Take your medicine. This is the wheel of punishment.
For new listeners or new viewers, we have a wheel of punishment, which essentially are all bad movies.
All bad movies.
Oh, hey, Bruce is in the YouTube chat. Hi, Bruce.
Oh, Bruce.
Thanks for making it over. Appreciate you, man.
So we still have quite a bit. Simon Says, House of the Dead, the Baby Genius series,
Oh, yeah.
the Avengers 1998, Da Hip Hop Witch,
Okay.
Exchange, Weirdsville, Amityville movies, Hotel Poseidon, which I think we already
watched that. Yeah, I watched that. That was a punishment.
He's like, I already did it.
No, it was a punishment. I had to watch punishment.
Blonde, a bunch of Joseph Bridges. He's got a list. American Mary and Robot Wars.
Mary.
Okay.
American
Mary, I've heard, is actually not supposed to be
Yeah,
bad.
I heard that's decent. Yeah.
Okay. So we're
right.
going to spin the punishment wheel. Only I can see this. But
Okay.
It's spinning. Just trust me. It's spinning.
I trust you.
And it's going to be a Joseph Bridges.
Okay. I already have his list up here.
Perfect.
Let's go. Let's see here. There's 26 movies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and there is a shuffle. Loquisha is at the top.
Okay.
LaQuisha?
Loquisha.
Loquisha.
Sometimes you have to become somebody else to find out who you really are. A white guy pretends to be a black female talk radio host and becomes a huge hit. 1.4 on Letterboxd.
What?
Wow.
What kind of movie is this?
Joe Bridges has it rated as a 1.5 out of 5.
So that means he watched it.
Well, he wouldn't put it on the list unless he watched it.
What is that? Oh, well, okay.
He's a man of integrity after all. Okay, I'll watch Loquisha and report back next week. Fucking great.
All right. LaQuisha. All right, so my next news story actually came out a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to talk about it because I'm a fan of. You guys have seen Naked Gun?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen.
Yep. Love the series.
Sure.
Good
Yeah.
series.
Love it.
Parody movie of
Police Squad.
cop detective movies.
Yeah, it's like a movie version of Police Squad, the show.
Yeah. So it's getting a reboot and a remake
Wait.
with Liam Neeson as the star.
Great.
Is the surprising part for me, the fact that Liam Neeson is part of it, because he's done mostly serious stuff, but he's done a couple things where he's a comedic character. Mm-hmm. He was in the Lego movie as the cop. He voiced the cop, like a two-faced cop who's like has like a serious face and then like
A friendly face.
like a friendly face. Yeah.
Hi there.
And it's going to be directed by Akiva Schaffer of The Lonely Island
Oh, that's cool.
and produced by Seth MacFarlane
All right.
as well. And Dan Greger and Doug Mand, who wrote Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, have written the script.
Wow.
So yeah, the Naked Gun movies originally starred Leslie Nielsen, and those were movies that I watched frequently as a kid, maybe like in middle school and high school.
Yeah.
Like whenever they were on. Leslie Nielsen played Frank Drebin, who was a self-serious detective who has failed up through the ranks of the police squad, and has become like his character he's like the best cop, even though he's the worst cop.
Yeah.
And this should be interesting because it's a genre of movie that I don't know if it would work nowadays.
What do you mean by that?
Because it's a parody movie, and parody movies have come and gone after like this Scary Movie franchise, and then they tried to do Meet the Spartans and everything after that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm really curious as to how they're gonna do this type of comedy in 2025 is when it's slated to release.
I feel like it's less of a parody at this point and more of a just like a very goofy version of that genre, which I mean, I guess that is a parody, but I feel like at this point, the Naked Police Squad and Naked Gun has such a cult, not a cult, even a cult following, just like it has such reverence in the comedy world that you're guaranteed to have an audience that's going to show up and just at least to see how it stacks up, because I'm not a huge fan of the old Airplane movie, the original Airplane.
Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't like that one?
It was fine. At the time, it was groundbreaking, and
It's dated comedy.
very dated. There's some great stuff in there. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar plays the co-pilot of the plane.
Yeah.
And there's a point in the movie where one of the kids, they show the kid up to the cockpit, and they're like, look, this is how they fly the plane. And he's like, wow, you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And he goes, no, I'm Gil. I'm the co-pilot. Look. And he points at his name tag on his shirt. And he goes, me and my dad. He's like, no, you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You put up 23 points against the Clippers last season or in the playoffs. And he's like, no, kid, you got me mistaken for someone else. I'm Gil. And he says, the kid goes, my dad says you choked in the playoffs because of so-and-so. And he goes, you tell your dad you're a goddamn liar. It's like, that works. There's a lot of like bits about it that work, but there's more misses than hits in my opinion. But with Police Squad and Naked Gun, it's nonstop, so funny, like the entire thing. In my opinion, it works for me.
I think that there might be a resurgence of that kind of comedy coming in 2024.
Well, we'll see.
Lonely Island produced, I'm in.
Yeah, I one of the running jokes in Airplane specifically was the kid. Also, I think it's the same kid.
Probably.
And the other pilot is like, Joey, have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the type of comedy, that type of comedy. I don't know how well that will translate into if they try to go down that same route.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how well that will perform or be like how well it will be received.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's, I think they're probably gonna go in a different direction or a slightly different direction, while probably trying to play like an homage to the original, because Leslie Nielsen, I think he passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he's gone?
Yeah, he's left this mortal plane.
Oh, man.
And you know what's crazy? I think it's Naked Gun. OJ is in those movies.
Yeah, he is. I don't know if it's the first one or the second one, but Orenthal James Simpson who's in those movies.
Yeah, and that's pretty funny in and of itself. Apparently, there was a reboot of the series of Police Squad that was attempted by Ed Helms, but it never made it to the screen.
Really? That's interesting.
Presumably, the new version has been tailored to Neeson's particular skill set.
He's got a very particular set of skills.
It was,
Yeah. And it's currently untitled. This currently untitled story from the files of Police Squad comes to theaters on July 28th in 2025.
I really like the fact that it's Neeson is strange, I think, at first, but then when you see him in that little improv sketch with the Ricky Gervais show that he had on HBO or whatever. What's that show called?
Extras, right?
Yeah, Extras. That's it.
Oh,
and he's talking with him, and he's talking Liam Neeson, him playing himself, and he's talking to Ricky Gervais and Warwick Davis of Willow fame, and they're talking as all playing themselves. And he comes in and he goes, "Ricky, I want to do some improvisational comedy."
Oh, sorry, no, it's from Life's Too Short.
Okay.
The Warwick Davis Ricky Gervais show.
Okay. Yeah, Ricky Gervais has got a lot of like short running series. But that entire segment right there, I've probably watched it 6-7 times. It cracks me up every single time. Because he's playing somebody who wants to do improv, but is breaking every rule of improv. Like they give him a premise and he's like, no one would ever believe I'm a greengrocer. I was Rob Roy. It's so funny. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. It's not like I hold the Naked Gun movies into like on a pedestal or anything, but I mean they were fun to watch as a kid.
Yeah.
So and I haven't seen them in a long time, so I don't know how well they would hold up. But very punny.
Yeah. Super goofy.
Kind of punny comedy and also just very off the wall, absurd.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So for my story, I have a very kind of disappointing story from IndieWire. So this is a poll from Harris X, which is just, I think, apparently they're a company that just does polls like a Gallup poll or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
That says that more than 2/3 of U.S. adults would rather wait to watch movies on streaming than go and see them in the theater. And it says 34% of the United States adults prefer to watch movies in theaters, which means a solid 2/3 would rather wait for them to be released on streaming. The competition continues between streaming services and the Hollywood engine. While we still see evidence of loyal moviegoers in recent box office numbers, our study shows that 2 in 3 movie watchers prefer to stream movies at home. That's from the VP at Harris X, Ali Brandy.
I know that's not your way.
No. To be honest,
Depends on the movie.
For many years, I didn't really watch hardly any movies in theater. Maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. And I understand why people would want to watch at home because it's expensive to live now.
Well, yeah, and you're in the comfort of your own home.
So, yeah, I have a couple thoughts about this. Number one.
I got to pay to see.
Yeah, number one, it's expensive to go anywhere. When you are leaving the house, unless
Expect to pay at least $40.
Yes, exactly. Have $40 in your pocket because you're like, unless you're going to the library or to a public park or going on a hike, you're going to be spending money. You have to go somewhere to buy a coffee and then hang out and
get snacks.
No, I'm just not even the movies. I'm just saying.
No, I know, but
tea that Joseph's drinking right now. Mm-hmm. It's like if you want to go somewhere and hang out with your friends, there's an obligate requirement to spend money at that establishment.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Or like an expectation.
Yeah, there is, and there's not a whole lot of places where you can be like, I'm gonna bring my own food and my own snacks and my own book, and I'm just gonna sit there. Starbucks people do that, but it's frowned upon.
Yeah, who does that?
Or you buy one.
Who does that?
Exactly, that fucking smug outlook that you're giving to the audience right now. Who does that? Who goes to a place where it brings their own book? What a loser! Because that's the purveying.
You're gonna read a book. You're gonna read a book in a public place. What is that? No, you read a book in the comfort of your own bed.
What if you don't?
Or on
What
the
if
couch.
what if you don't have a healthy home life? What if you have an abusive household? What if you live with roommates that you hate?
Then
what if the only way you can read is with other noise around you?
Yeah. What if when you sit down and read a book
that.
in your bed, you fall asleep? That's me. That's why I don't read. I just go to sleep. So I'm saying is that judgmental tone that Tyler just had about reading a book in public. I've seen people tweet pictures. It's like a picture of somebody reading a book in a restaurant, and they're like, and the comment says something like, "Just so you know, everybody hates you."
Yeah, no, they read 3 pages. They read 3 pages, and then they're just like, "Okay, I'm done."
No, I'm just if you want to sit for 30 minutes or 45 minutes at a coffee shop and you bought a coffee, you can read a book. But you got
I've read in public before.
Yeah, you got Tyler and everybody else judging you. I go to breakfast.
I'm not judging anyone. God bless you if you want to read a book in
That's
public.
literally not exact opposite of what you just said minutes ago.
Dan, are you still defending? Are you still defending Tyler now? Dan,
Yes, he is.
I'll read
He's on Team Tyler.
I'll read his comments in a second. But anyway, so it's expensive to go out in places, and if you have a TV and a nice sound system, and you've bought all the niceties of your own home, and you pay the rent or the mortgage for your own home, why spend another $25, $30 to go see the movie in the theaters that you could see at home just because it's a little bit later? Yeah. I understand that. Seeing Dune 2 in a Dolby-equipped IMAX theater was absolutely unforgettable experience.
Yeah, I've heard that it's recommended to see it in like the IMAX theaters.
Yeah, and this year I made a commitment to watch more movies in theaters because I think it's good. I can watch more new releases and make little videos on YouTube for them and bring them to the show as well on the podcast.
Sure.
But I watch a lot of them, and whether or not I'm going to recommend you to watch it, there is a second recommendation. Should you go see it in theaters or should you just wait for streaming? There is a lot less romanticism about the movie theater experience, I think now.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like Grandpa Pete, but people watching TikTok, people watching short form videos and YouTube and stuff like that, they're less likely to have this romantic view of the movie theaters if it wasn't part of their childhood experience. My parents would drop me off, or my friends' parents would drop a literal van full of kids, pre-16 children at the movie theater and be like, I'll see you in 6 hours. It doesn't take 6 hours to watch one movie, but but that's what they'd be like, get these fucking kids out of here. And they're going to be, number one, give a respite for the parents. And number two, they know that they can only get in so much trouble at the movie theater, you know.
Best movie experience, go.
Best movie experience?
Yes.
What does that entail?
Ooh, there's a lot there.
No, just like what comes to your mind first and foremost. Like
Seeing any of the Lord of the Rings movies in
you
theaters.
saw those in theaters?
Yes, I did.
That's awesome.
Did you not see them in theaters?
No.
I don't think
Really?
I don't think I did either. I didn't like a sophomore in high school.
Wow.
Seeing them in theaters because, and I can't remember which ones specifically, but this kind of encompasses like seeing like Revenge of the Sith in theaters and other movies in theaters that people were looking forward to. Seeing Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, Bruce Almighty, and the Lord of the Rings movies because they were highly anticipated movies, and there was always lines forming outside the theaters. Remember that? Remember the lines would form?
Yes,
They would put the stanchions or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you would stand behind that, and then a movie theater worker would come by and walk you to the theater.
Oh yeah, that was weird. I felt like
Yeah,
an
right. But
airport.
that was like the best experiences that I remember going to the movies. Is like
Nice.
waiting in line like that, and then
Nice.
picking your seats live as opposed to reserving them.
All
Yeah,
right, so Lord of the Rings for you, Joseph. Pete, what about you?
The Matrix. I watched it with my
Oh my God, The
my
Matrix.
older cousin Jeremy. He's like my brother. He's 4 years older than me, and he was very formative to my media tastes as a child.
Right.
Watched it, blew my fucking mind. And that was also the first time I ever experienced somebody smoking weed in public, and it was like a bunch of people in that theater, and I thought we were all going to go to jail.
All those cyber goths in there.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, Tyler, yours. Real fast.
Yeah, real fast. Jesus Christ, it would have to be Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, yeah. And then you were screeching. You're running around screeching like a
Right.
buffoon.
Yes.
Afterwards.
Yeah, it looked like...
Tyler was a child, and the moderator of the event said, "Who can give us the best Velociraptor impression?"
And then
he
I was
jumped
just
up
like,
and started screeching like a
I held my hand up and I was like, done and done.
done and done. Give me that T-shirt. So, anyways, back to the story.
Sorry.
So it's really not much of a story. It's just kind of a recent poll. And I think that it makes sense. It's a little sad, but it makes sense.
It's weird because like movies like last year we had Barbie and Oppenheimer, and those movies made a lot of money. So clearly people were going to the movies. And but that statistic is like it says otherwise.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
I mean, there's more people today than there were a long time ago, and tickets are more expensive. So even less percentage of people, higher ticket prices, the money's still there.
Right.
We got some activity in the chat on the YouTube. Jack's in the chat. He says, "What the hell is everybody talking about? Rating a Starbucks doesn't seem weird to me, but there is an expectation to buy something. That's a thing." And he says, "Bruce Almighty." That's now you're talking my language, Joseph.
You're talking my language.
Bruce says the best movie experience that he had was probably Jaws. It was his first grown-up movie that he got to see. He spent half of it. I'm sorry, just cut off here. I spent half of it in the back of the theater, scared and ready to walk out.
Oh my God.
I love that.
Oh
Bruce.
my God. That's
awesome.
my God. That's awesome.
So yeah,
I
we
just watched a TikTok on Jaws today too.
Wonderful. Congratulations. Glad you brought that
You
up.
better enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah. And then, so that's pretty much all I have. But I do have a message from Dan, Binge Lord Dan, dedicated listener. And he sent 2 messages in. One was a couple weeks ago. And he says, Pete, he added me on Twitter at the real Pete with 4 E's. Please tell Tyler that AI quote unquote art can't and won't exist without stealing real artists' art that it samples. The issue isn't that lazy people are calling themselves artists. It's that they're stealing other people's work. That was when our discussion from AI art a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then he sent a GIF that was Captain Kirk slapping Spock saying, "Do better." Then, so again, Binge Lord Dan sent another message saying, at Pete, "You know what? Good job, Tyler. The same week that Denis Villeneuve says, as long as that there's spectacle, people don't care about character and dialogue, Tyler says that a good character will completely compensate for ropey special effects, i.e. Spaceman. So in your Spaceman review, you said, the CGI was a little iffy, but the characters were so well drawn that it made up for it.
Okay, so he brought it back.
Yeah, he did. And
he brought it back.
Credit where credit's due. He sent a gif of Cartman saying, okay, you did better.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
Yes. Son of a bitch, he's complimenting you.
I don't like it.
He started off with some
Vinegar.
salt.
Yeah.
He started he started with vinegar and
then he gave you a reach around.
Then he gave it
then a little sugar.
Gave me a little sugar. Okay. Well,
All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I like how we have to drag compliments out of Tyler for our listeners. They compliment him and he's like, off. Look at you bastard. All right, let's get into some streaming picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do. Disney Plus. Oh, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Streaming picks, movies that we watch this week on our streaming services that you can watch on yours too.
Yes.
Tyler, lead us off.
I really wanted to watch new movies this week, but however, I had a lot of people were calling off work, so I was working long hours. And there is one day where it was like raining a bunch. I think it was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I'm not sure.
Get on the mic.
And so
You're like turning sideways.
and sorry, hold on. Let me get, so
We're on internet television.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's you up there.
Oh, is it?
I feel like Tyler, it's like when you hold a dog up to a mirror and you're like, that's you.
It's like what? Really?
Wait, we're live?
So anyways, it was like raining a bunch and I was really tired from work. I got home, threw my coat on the coat rack, and I said, what's a good movie to watch on a rainy day? An American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And
It's a classic.
I know I've picked this before.
That's all right. Why change your method now?
I guess so. Why not? But I watched American Werewolf in London, and I watched it in the perfect setting. Headphones on, in the dark, completely. Lucas on my lap.
Yeah.
With a glass of lemonade. And it was just...
Lemonade.
Lemonade. All right.
Actually, it was strawberry lemonade.
Strawberry lemonade on a rainy evening.
Did your mom make it for you?
No, it came from the thing.
Did your
anyway,
friend make it for you?
So, An American Werewolf in London, I watched it in the perfect setting. The perfect setting.
Strawberry lemonade.
Strawberry lemonade, cat on my lap.
Cat on my lap. Yeah.
Okay.
And in my pajamas. And the movie is so comforting for some reason. Like, I'm not sure like why it is. Like it like the pacing of the movie is just, it's so efficient. And John Landis, as a deplorable human being as he is, and his son, he made a really great movie. He made the perfect interpretation of being a werewolf. Because he made it seem like it's an actual curse. It's not like Twilight, where it's a cultural thing, where you're gonna be a werewolf, you can turn into a werewolf at any time. No, it seemed like that when you turn into a werewolf, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like that
sucks.
That sucks. So that's what I really enjoy about An American Werewolf in London. It's
Just the transformation scene.
Well, yes, that is an incredible.
Well, it set
scene.
the standard for werewolf transformations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
And then Wolf Cop came, and then it changed the game.
Yeah, then you get to see full genitalia.
It's like, what happens to that part of the body?
But anyways, you can stream An American Werewolf in London on Amazon Prime.
Is that your only streaming pick?
Yes.
All right, Joseph, what do you got?
Oh, okay. So I have a lot of movies that I watched.
I'm sure.
But
2 weeks worth.
I'm not going to talk about most of them.
Okay, cool.
You guys watched Spaceman. I also watched Spaceman like the weekend that it dropped. That that was pretty good. It was a little bit derivative, but overall it was pretty...
Derivative of what?
Moon, Interstellar, a little bit of 2001, but overall it wasn't like it was like ripping off those movies, but it was definitely like, yeah, I've seen this in Interstellar, I've seen this in Moon, but it was very contemplative and introspective. Carey Mulligan has been typecast into that role. It's a tone poem, and you're watching a man get therapy from a talking spider. I think Paul Dano's performance was better than Adam Sandler's, but I liked his very ASMR-y voice that he had, very calm and gentle. But you definitely, if you're in a good mood, don't watch this movie. And I'm not saying that because it'll make you sad. I'm saying it because it'll be a drag.
Yeah.
For you if you watch this on if it's a nice sunny day and it's like today, don't watch it.
Yeah. You really want to be in a dour mood,
which is it's a bad thing for this movie because our moods are like on a pendulum, and the movie is like it has to hit it like at the right point. Like you have to be in the right spot for this movie to hit you.
Yeah,
sure.
So that was pretty good. Also watched Total Recall, the remake, the Colin Farrell version.
Okay,
and that was actually pretty entertaining. It's actually a pretty fun movie, and it's a little bit disappointing because they don't go to Mars in this one.
Yeah.
It's all on Earth, like a dystopian Earth, and it's still like a class thing, and there's less mutants in this one, and Bryan Cranston plays Coagan, and it changes the plot. Instead of Coagan taking air from people on Mars, he's just going to take over the whole world. But it's a pretty good action movie, honestly.
Nice.
So that one was streaming on Netflix.
Two Netflix in a row.
Two movies that I want to focus on right now.
All right.
The first one is a documentary. It's a documentary movie that was released in 2017. And before I say the name of this movie, I want to ask you guys, are you guys circumcised?
What? Hold on.
Buddy, you better believe it.
Wait a minute. What kind of
Just
question?
like my father and his father before him.
Okay. Tyler.
I don't feel
Tyler,
comfortable.
talk about your schwanz for once.
I don't feel comfortable answering these
I
questions.
think I know somebody who I could ask.
Yeah, how dare you?
So yes, you guys are.
Sure.
Okay,
yes,
so that makes
yes.
me the outlier here.
Oh, Joseph's uncut. Joseph's an anteater.
This is wow.
Okay.
I thought this would be off mic.
All right.
Okay.
So this documentary is called American Circumcision. And it's streaming on Tubi and Peacock and Pluto TV. And this honestly, like the name of the documentary and like the cover of it is a picture of the White House with the tip cut off.
Okay.
Sorry, not the White House, the capital of DC.
Oh,
the United States. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
The dome, the top of the dome is cut off.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
Yes.
And it's one of the strangest like documentary like subjects that I've seen, but it's actually probably one of the more compelling documentaries that I've seen recently. Because aside from separate from the subject matter, it does a really good job in presenting both sides of like people being pro-circumcision and anti-circumcision.
Really?
And I'm definitely of the anti-circumcision camp because not if you're like a consenting adult and you're like, I don't want foreskin anymore, then you can make that decision, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
But if you're a parent and you're choosing for like a baby, then that becomes an issue.
Oh.
Because it's essentially genital mutilation.
You're cutting a piece of their genitals off. They'll never go back.
Yes, and it's crazy how botched that procedure can go and how it can actually affect how much of an impact that has on these men's lives later in their life, because that is what it can essentially it can cause curvature of a penis. That's what can happen. Like scar tissue
boomerang, mate.
will affect the shape, and sometimes it can have a I don't know how to describe it. But
This sounds like a very compelling documentary.
In the documentary, there's a woman who gets her baby circumcised, and then the doctors or whoever did it they fucked up, and it gets like an enclosed penis or something like that. Like, that's what happens.
What?
That's weird.
And then the woman, she goes to this conference that talks about the problems with circumcision, and then, but she went after she got her baby circumcised, and then they do an interview with her, and she's like, "What did I do to my son?
Like, I wish I never did that sort of thing."
Like she's like crying on camera, and she has like this guilt and regret, and it's really sad.
So it's a good documentary.
One of the weirdest parts of the documentary, and I don't know why they chose to interview this guy. He's does these, I don't know, these talks, these like not like a TED talk, but
something similar.
He shows men with foreskin how to essentially make the most out of their foreskin in terms of sexual pleasure, and he tapes himself and he plays it in front of a bunch of people of him essentially jacking off and showing how he's like, I'm going to show you how like I can come 3 times within 5 minutes just by stimulating this part of the foreskin.
That's a drop.
I know. That was like I understand what they're trying to do. There are certain things that when you perform a circumcision that it will take away from people.
Where is this streaming on again?
There are like the people who are pro circumcision, like this association of pediatricians.
Okay.
It's so weird that they want to hold on to this procedure so much.
Sure.
It's just a weird conviction to hold.
Yeah.
Because it's like one less thing that you have to do if you don't do circumcision.
Hey, Joseph, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but now that we're on YouTube Live, I sent the link out to all my family and said, hey, you want to come and watch us live? And within the last 5 minutes, when you started your review, I have my mother and my dear Auntie Amy are in the chat, and my mom just sent an eggplant emoji.
Nice.
Wait, what?
This is a very interesting review.
Okay.
The documentary, essentially, the message is like, the people who want to keep doing these and are like lobbying to make sure that like these surgeries can keep happening, it's like about control. That's basically what it is. And this is like one of the few like man issues that like I can get behind, because it can be looked at as like child abuse or even like sexual abuse.
And most of the other stuff that people are trying to regulate is like a woman's body.
Yeah. And there's also this weird mentality of when like when parents want to circumcise their child, one of the reasons is, well, I want him to look like his father.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's so fucking weird. That's so fucking weird. It's like, it's disgusting.
This documentary really had an effect on you.
Tyler, get on that mic.
It's just so strange, and I had no idea that I would have this much passion.
Me neither, apparently.
And there are like people who have essentially been disowned by their parents because a kid, like this 18-year-old, like questioned his mom on like
why she did that,
why they did this to him, and now he like doesn't talk to her anymore.
I got a lot of thoughts about it. I don't want to go too far into this.
Yeah, we're not talking about penises right now. This is
we are. We actually are.
Yeah, we are doing it right now.
We've exceeded our weekly penis talk allotment for the week. But the one thing I do know of, that there's a movement of people, I hope they talk about it in this, that are like foreskin restoration. Like they
talk about that too.
Okay, cool.
They bring that up, and they have like synthetic foreskin.
I don't want to hear any more about it, because I'm going to watch the
There's
doc.
like this device that like pulls like the old.
No.
Weird.
I want to watch the doc. Well, where's it streaming?
Tubi and Peacock.
Peacock. Oh yeah, I forgot. Peacock. Wonderful. Okay, cool. But
yeah,
was it good? Was it good though?
It's good. It's entertaining. It's very riveting and compelling, and it's just if you weren't on either side of the conversation and you were watching this, you could probably be swayed on
one
either
way or the
side.
other. That's good. I like the evenly distributed sort of documentaries.
Yeah.
But going into it, it's I've definitely like I don't know how you could do that to your child. It's like knowing what we know now, because they're like, it's if you still have the foreskin, it's gonna store a bunch of diseases, like HIV and AIDS. Like AIDS is not stored in the foreskin.
Wait, what? I'm just hearing for this for the first time. AIDS is not stored in the foreskin?
What?
It's like in Seinfeld.
Oh God, here we go.
With Kramer stops a bris from happening.
I hope your next streaming pick is what I think it is.
And he calls it a barbaric ritual.
Mm-hmm. What you got? What's
All right,
next?
the next movie I want to stream pick. Well, I'm not stream picking this. Don't watch this. So, Michael Elliott is a name and a person.
Oh, yeah, he's a hero of our show.
Yeah.
That we've talked. Hero? I don't know.
I don't know. He's a celebrity.
The word hero doesn't
He's
get...
doing work.
Yeah, he's doing
God's work or devil's work. I don't know.
No, he's a celebrity. Oh my God, you watched one of his movies?
He's a person we've talked to in the past.
Yes.
Interesting fellow, watches a shit ton of movies.
Right.
I think he's in the 500s now on Letterboxd.
Already, it's March 16th.
Oh my God. Oh my God, really? You've been keeping up with him?
And he watches a lot of stuff, of a variety of things. And I was on Letterboxd when he logged something recently.
Okay.
And so I've never watched any of these movies that he's reviewed. So I saw this and I was like, okay, I'll check this out because the name is funny and it's a parody of another movie.
Okay.
So this movie is called Taintlight.
Taintlight. Okay.
Taintlight.
All right.
And it's a parody of Twilight.
What is this episode? What are we doing?
Taintlight.
20 minutes on circumcisions. Now you're talking about taints and vampires.
20 minutes on circumcision.
I think the flu has gone to your brain, Joseph.
Maybe. All right. So Taintlight.
Okay.
It's a very low budget shot on video, like tape.
Okay.
Wow.
Straight to shittio.
And streaming on Tubi.
All right.
It's an hour long.
All right.
And it's directed by this man named Chris Seaver. And the plot is the tale of Stella, a young girl who falls in love with an ancient, beautifully haired bloodsucker named Edgar. They struggle to stay together in the midst of vampire carnage, but a love triangle bubbles up when a Michael Jackson-loving werewolf named Jack comes forward professing his own love for Stella.
You hear that, Jack?
Meanwhile, a rival group of real vampires led by the evil Razor McBleed are prowling.
Razor McBleed? That sounds like a villain from Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
That does. That does.
Michael Elliott works on a 4-star rating system.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right.
Even on Letterboxd, he works on a 4-star rating system.
Oh,
Yeah.
he doesn't even use the 5 stars.
He uses 5s for classics, like an all-time classic. Very seldom do you see a 5-star from him.
He gave this movie 3 stars.
Really?
And I'll read his review.
Okay.
Oh, please.
This Chris Seaver spoof of Twilight is actually a lot better than it has any right to be. If you've seen Twilight and hate sparkly vampires, then Taintlight will be for you. What makes this film work so well is that the entire cast is on the same page and the same type of comedy is attempted. I will agree with that. A lot of times you watch films like this and it seems like every actor is doing their own thing, but I thought Seaver, the director, kept everyone on the same page and it really worked well. Meredith Host plays the lead female role, and I thought she was really good and very funny at times. The rest of the cast were quite good too, but thankfully Seaver knew what he had and didn't try to push this movie to be longer than it already is.
Okay.
The 61 minutes was a perfect running time, and even at that length, it did start to get a tad bit boring. Still, there was plenty of funny moments, including many involving a very perverted dad. The same type of childish humor is on display throughout, but it was a nice little spoof.
Okay. 3 stars, 75%.
Yeah. I gave it like a half star.
Wow, that's shocking.
I will. There's some moments that is like it's like actually funny, but overall, it's just.
I can't believe you watched this.
I felt gross watching this.
Yeah, what compelled you to watch?
I've already explained myself.
He already said. It was a Michael Elliott. He saw a weird ass movie that Michael Elliott watched, and he said, "I'm going to see what kind of stuff that he's watching."
I don't know what Michael. You don't need to watch everything.
I think he does. According to him, he does.
Is he like on a government contract?
He's like the architect in
he says
the
he
Matrix.
He says he has a normal job. He's got a family and kids.
He has a family?
Yeah. You were on the show. What do you?
I'm saying, does he have a government contract to watch movies?
Oh no,
does he have some sort of? Did he like sell his soul? Did he owe the mob?
This is just for posterity.
Like,
it's for future generations.
Yeah.
He's doing work.
He's doing the work.
He's watching every movie so that everybody doesn't have to.
Yeah, except for he's giving 3 stars to this parody smut.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just It's not offensive, but it's really not good. The dad is they changed some things about it, obviously. Like the dad has like this weird, he wants to bang his daughter.
What?
Yeah. And like the daughter knows that he wants to. And like there's no like Native American aspect to it. And it doesn't take place in Washington. It takes place in I can't remember the name of the
Bakersfield.
town. Bakersfield. Yeah, it's like the FP, but
oh god. It's the FP vampire universe.
But yeah, it's late hour, but it's
felt like longer.
If you're curious, it's on Tubi.
No, I'm not curious.
There's a lot of like crotch jokes. Oh, instead of baseball, like the baseball scene, they play froth.
Oh, wonderful. Disc golf.
Oh, disc golf?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's more like frisbee football than disc golf. But it's like indoor frisbee football. And instead of the vampires that sparkle, if they are out in the sun, they get boners.
What? Okay.
Yeah, they get boners.
All right, now I know what kind of movie this is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm in. Yeah. I watched a parody movie kind of like that called Vampire Boys 2, recommended by Jason from Binge Movies as more or less as a punishment, and it's one of the worst things I've ever seen, like on screen or elsewhere. Like I've seen beheadings on the internet.
The gay romance.
Yeah, it's Vampire Boys, so you can imagine.
Yeah.
But Taintlight. Skip it probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I get to my streaming picks, we have some question from Laura Lovelace, my dear mother, in the chat. She says, "How does
I wanted to talk about Damsel."
Oh, okay. Oh, hold on. Let me get through these comments. How does a remake of Total Recall compare to the original, in your opinion?
The original is so much better, and apparently follows the book a lot closer.
There's a book?
Yeah, it's a short story by Philip K. Dick. But yeah, Total Recall, the like Arnold Schwarzenegger version, is actually a very good movie, and the Colin Farrell version is just like a really fun action movie.
Okay, gotcha. Laura also says, "Taint lighting is low budget. That is shocking." And sent a scissors emoji during your circumcision discussion.
Oh, so
Jack from Australia says, "I love how much you've upped your game with watching tons of movies, Joseph." He loves the extended streaming picks. And he also says, "I hate turning into a werewolf. It sucks when that happens." From Tyler's review. Okay, so for my streaming picks.
Oh,
I forgot. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you watch Damsel?
I did watch Damsel. Yeah, I talked about it last episode.
What did you think about it?
I think it's a movie made for 13-year-old girls.
Right.
I liked the dragon a lot, and I thought some of her like sort of MacGyver survival techniques were appreciated. It was fine. I thought it was fun enough. Not a movie made for me, essentially. So,
yeah.
The first like 20 minutes of it, I'm like, I don't need this movie, and why do I care about Millie Bobby Brown anyways? I'm done with her. I'm done with her. That's pretty much what I was thinking.
Yeah.
How'd you think?
I'm in the same boat. The beginning was like
it got better. It got better.
Like a generic fantasy. It felt like a young adult book.
Yeah, it did. It felt like a Twilight, but instead in medieval time. And she's not she's not as interesting as Bella, and Bella's not interesting.
Oh yeah. Watching the movie, it really, it screams Netflix movie. Like it's like, this is a Netflix movie. Like that's a genre movie, and this fits within that, right? And it got pretty entertaining. Like some of the CG was CG, but it was, by the end of it, it was like a one and done type movie.
Okay.
And but while I was watching it, have you ever been watching a movie and you're thinking to yourself like this movie is screaming like, I am a movie.
Sure. Maestro.
Definitely.
Maestro.
You know what I mean? Like it's like you're not immersed in it at all. Mm-hmm. It's like there's a barrier between you and the screen. That's
an interesting concept. Yes, I have.
Apparently, I'm muted.
No, I fixed you.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what this movie felt like. It felt like I was watching a movie. It didn't engage me at all.
Okay.
It's just I am a movie. That's what it felt like. And
okay.
it's not like every movie has to be like that, where it's I have to be living, I feel like I'm living in that world.
Yeah.
But
there has to be some sort of immersion.
It was just like I'm aware that I'm watching a movie, and things are happening on screen that I don't care about because I'm not engaged with any of the characters or the world that they're in.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it kind of felt like a story that's being told from a storybook, and when I finished watching it, I was thinking, this is better than I thought it was going to be. I had a good time, and I thought the graphics of the dragon were pretty great, and some of the visuals of that were cool. But I'm probably going to not spend a whole lot of time thinking about it in the future, and I won't rewatch it again. I think my opinion of it's gone down over time, which that's usually not a great sign. But it felt like I said, like a storybook that somebody's reading to you, but it's a story that you just don't care about too much.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely the desolation of Smog. That's what it felt like.
Definitely had tones of that. And I was thinking when the dragon's flying across the ocean, I'm like, that is a very far distance. I wonder if that dragon's going to make it.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like when people who read are like, it's like when I'm reading sometimes I'm like, I'm reading right now, as opposed to like me living in the book and like imagining the world that I'm like reading based on the words.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I get you.
As opposed to watching a movie where it's literally being presented in front of me and it's still not engaging.
I'm reading right now.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's just like kind of what I wanted to bring up with Damsel, is that it's a movie and it screams that it's a movie.
Oh, okay. That's fair. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
All right. So a couple of movies that I watched this week. I revisited a classic that I've always loved, and I love it now. I loved it before, and I think my appreciation for it's only gone up. And this is a classic Disney, a Goofy movie, 1995. Brianna and I wanted to watch a fun movie with a positive message and some good vibes.
Did you have pizza?
We did not have pizza. There was plenty of pizza on screen, though. A very cheesy, gooey pizza movie. But this is streaming on Disney Plus, as you might imagine. And I'm going to venture to say this is damn near a perfect Disney movie.
I would agree with you on that.
The scope of it is not as broad, and it's not like a world adventurer movie.
There's not a lot of stakes in the movie, too.
The stakes are very personal. The stakes are, it's a father and a son, and it's the culmination of their relationship from two different perspectives.
He wants to go to a concert.
Yeah.
He just wants to spend time with his son.
Right.
Yes. So the plot of the movie, for people who haven't seen this, Max is Goofy's son. He's a high schooler. I don't know if he's a junior or senior or something, but a higher age high schooler.
Yeah.
And he really likes this musician called Powerline. And
that's what it was.
He's like a sort of a pop, sort of dancey, maybe like a Chris Brown mixed with Michael Jackson sort of thing, with a little bit more kitsch to his vibe, because he wears like these jumpsuits and is all electric Powerline, hence the name. And he does this Powerline performance during a assembly at his school. And it's this great production where his friend PJ hooks a hook on him, and he flies him around the auditorium as he's singing whatever Stand Up, I think is what the song is called.
Yeah.
And everybody's, oh, Max is the coolest now. Oh, he did this during the assembly, and that's crazy. Max, what a cool guy this guy is.
Yeah.
And then he gets the girl, Roxanne, who he has this crush on, and they're going to go on a date together.
She's a fox.
And then the principal, voiced by Wallace Shawn, Brianna's pissed that I compared Powerline to Chris Brown. Only because he's a dancer. He's not.
Did Powerline ever abuse his partners?
No, he never punched Rihanna in the face while parked in their car. So that's where the analogy ends. But yeah, so he gets the girl and all this stuff, and the principal, voiced by Wallace Shawn, calls Goofy, the father, and says, your son is a menace. He did this in our auditorium. And by the way, this is how he ends up in jail and in the electric chair. And
oh, Jesus, he's getting a death
sentence? That's what he says. You know what
Mm.
happens next is the electric chair.
He's getting a death sentence?
And yeah, Brianna says hi. So that's Goofy, and Goofy is very gullible. He's a goof, and he says, I'm going to set my son straight.
He's a goof.
It's in his name.
I'm going to set his straight. We're going to go on this fishing trip together, just like my dad took me on the fishing trip, and we're going to imbue some wholesomeness into his life. So they go on this cross-country road trip from state unknown to the east, to the west coast, and he's going to go to this fishing trip in, I don't know, wherever, Yosemite or something like that.
Okay.
And halfway through, Max decides to turn the course of the road trip to LA to go to the Powerline concert, which is what he told his new girlfriend to be that he was going to go see. He's going to say, the reason why I'm canceling the date that I just got with you is not because I don't like you. It's because I'm going to see Powerline in LA. And Powerline and my dad are old friends. Why he has to make that lie up? I don't know. He's a dumb teenager. I chalk it up to that.
Yeah.
And they go off on the road trip and they have a blast together. And he's embarrassed by his dad and all these good things. And you can imagine how it goes from there. But from the second this movie starts, you have this nightmare sequence where Max is dreaming.
Yeah.
And it's basically a would-be sex dream with Roxanne. And before it gets there, before they kiss, his snout sprouts longer like his dad, and he gets these giant goofy teeth, and his feet blow out of his shoes, and he turns 10 feet tall and goes, yuck. And he's like, oh shit, I'm turning into my dad. The worst thing that could happen. And how relatable is that as a child when you're embarrassed by your parents and you know your future is, I'm going to turn out just like that?
You know, it's weird. I've never been embarrassed by my parents before.
I didn't really have a super strong aversion to that. When your parents are giving you lovey-dovey sort of kisses and your friends are hanging out or whatever, you're just like, God, Dad, don't embarrass me.
I never gave a shit about that. I was just like, yeah, okay, so my mom loves me. Tyler, my dad loves me. Okay.
Brianna says, you don't even hug your mom, Tyler. What are you talking about?
Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm not going to even address the chat about that.
So, anyways, I just thought the nightmare sequence is great. There's a number of musical sequences that are great. There's this like road trip song. There's the entire sequence of Lester's Possum Park.
Oh, yes.
That is so... It's like a scathing takedown of the American South.
Yeah.
All boiled down into one nightmarish, animatronic-riddled, costumed nightmare that Max is at with his dad. There's so many great moments in there. There's the Sasquatch sequence.
Yes, of course.
There's the perfect cast that he does with the fishing rod that his dad taught him, who his dad taught him before that.
Yeah.
Which leaves me a question. Do you think that Max is circumcised? You think he looks just like Dad?
Oh God, we're going back to this again.
Goofy really wants
his dad circumcised.
Goofy really wants Max to be just like his dad and his grandpa.
Yeah,
learn the perfect cast.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Do dogs do that?
It would be a much more involved procedure. They have to wait for it to come out. So, anyways, Goofy movie streaming on the Disney Plus. Damn near perfect movie.
Yeah,
I gave
what
it.
would make it perfect?
I don't know. I can't
more
say.
Pizza.
Yeah, more pizza.
I think
a little bit longer. I could use more.
Listener Bree, is Goofy movie perfect?
Yes,
I think it's a.
No, she's already unfollowed us after I compared Goofy or Powerline to Chris Brown.
You equated Chris Brown to Goofy.
No, I think it's a very fine movie. It's very well structured.
I would say The Weeknd is closer to.
Oh, good call.
Oh,
good call.
Good.
Bruno
that's good.
Mars, maybe.
Yeah. I think The Weeknd is a very good.
That's an apt
comparison.
example. Good job,
Yes.
Joseph. A little bit longer. It's 78 minutes. You know, I could have used the full 90. I wanted a little bit more.
Yeah,
a little bit more action on the road.
Why they made the sequel?
A Goofy movie too.
Damn it, she unfollowed us twice now.
Oh, damn it.
So my next streaming pick is a movie from 2003 starring the most beloved Paul Giamatti. Also starring Hope Davis, Judah Friedlander, and James Urbaniak, who's a name I recognize, or a face that I recognize, but not the name. This is called American Splendor, streaming on Max.
Oh, I love this movie. I love this movie.
You love it? Oh, great.
Yes.
Awesome. Joseph, have you seen this one?
No.
So American Splendor basically follows the life and times of Harvey Peacock, an American comic book author. I almost call him an illustrator, but he doesn't draw. He writes the comics, and he literally sketches them as stick figures in panels and then hands them off to an artist to draw.
Yeah, and he has a throat thing.
Yeah, he's got a very raspy, sort of scratchy voice.
Yeah.
And the thing that I like about this movie, besides the fact that it's Vanilla Ice, the thing that I really love about this movie is, besides the fact that he's an interesting character, he's an everyman, he's very quirky, so it leads to a lot of interesting interactions with other characters, is that the movie
He's
is
very abrasive.
Yeah, the movie is structured so that you have the in-universe Paul Giamatti playing Harvey Peacock and Judah Friedlander playing his friend, and then and Hope Davis playing his now wife. And then at some point the scene will end, it'll cut, and then they're all on like a sound stage in an all white backdrop, like they're green screen, but it's all white backdrop, like a white screen. And then it pans over, and they're all taking a break to go sit on their like actors' chairs.
Yeah.
And it pans over, and you see the real Harvey Peacock and the real character, his friend played by Jude Friedlander, and they're talking to each other on set as like the reference points, and you see the actors in the background watching them and like in reverence. Look at these freaking characters.
Yeah.
And they're so accurate to the real life people. Their portrayals of these
really are.
characters are so accurate, and you don't realize it. You're like, there's no way this Judah Friedlander character can be this just goober like. He plays Toby, his friend Toby. Yeah. And then you see Toby and Harvey in real life talking to each other about jelly beans on set because they're at the craft food table. And he's like, yeah, gourmet jelly beans, huh? What's this one? This one is cinnamon. How do you know that?
Oh, yeah.
I need to put it in my mouth first.
I love that line.
And
this one is cinnamon.
Yeah. And it's a great slice of life and like this kind of story of this interesting American author's character.
Yeah. I completely agree.
This story is an interesting one. It's about comic books. It's about this artist. And it's about the actual comic is called American Splendor. And it's a real thing that exists. If you want, if you thought it was interesting, if you think the story is interesting, you can buy the comic. You can read some yourself because his whole thing is people have comics about superheroes and people have comics about blah, 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 whatever. But where's the comic about the everyman? And it'll just be like something like one of the frames, one of the panels will essentially him walking by a mirror, and you'll see himself in the mirror and go, well, there's a reliable disappointment. And that's it. That's the comic. It's just like this self-deprecating guy living his shitty life in his shitty apartment or shitty house collecting LPs in, I think it's Cleveland. I don't know if he's in Cleveland. He's somewhere in Ohio.
I think it was Cleveland.
I think it is Cleveland.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's American Splendor streaming on HBO Max. It's a little off-brand sort of humor. Definitely something that I think a lot of people who listen to the show would enjoy.
Definitely.
And it's one that Paul Giamatti's getting a lot of press right now from the holdovers, and for good reason. He's great since the beginning. He was fantastic in this movie. He's so good in this movie. And so does Judah Friedlander. If the name sounds familiar to you, he's the guy that wears the trucker hat and has the big mutton chops on 30 Rock. Yeah. In this movie, he's unrecognizable. He literally, I couldn't guess it was him in a million years.
He doesn't have the look yet.
No, he hasn't settled into that look. And then the last one, I got a couple more that I watched. Marlowe. It's another Liam Neeson whodunit sort of detective movie. Pretty good. I think it's streaming on Hulu right now. Not fantastic, but I think it was getting trashed when it first came out. It's got really low reviews, and I thought it was good. But I think going to be a little bit forgettable. It's probably not going to be one that sticks with me. But the big one that I watched this week is called Ricky Stenicki. Streaming on Amazon Prime.
Ricky Stenicki.
Tyler, you heard about this?
No, I haven't.
So Ricky Stenicki is a Farrelly Brothers movie. Well, I don't know if it's a brothers movie.
One Farrelly.
Yeah, it's Peter Farrelly, the director. And the Farrelly brothers did Dumb and Dumber, Something About Mary.
Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah, Me, Myself, and Irene. And I don't think they've made...
Stuck on You.
I was just going to say Stuck on You. God, that's terrible movie.
Fucking movie.
I saw that movie in theaters with my mom.
Oh, wonderful. I just don't know. They don't even look alike. Greg Kinnear and Matt Damon. So anyways, I didn't know it was a Farrelly Brothers movie going in. I just saw it was starring Zac Efron. What's his name? Andrew Santino.
Santino from Bad Friends.
Yeah, Andrew Santino.
Oh, I love that guy.
Jermaine Fowler and John Cena. And the plot of this is that John Cena is a kind of a no-name junkie actor. Not junkie, sorry. No-name alcoholic actor from Atlantic City, New Jersey. And he is essentially hired to play the three friends, Zac Efron, Jermaine Fowler, and Andrew Santino. They're childhood friends. And they made up another friend, a fourth friend, called Ricky Stenicki. And every time they get in trouble or do something bad, they're like, oh shit, Ricky is the one that set off the fireworks. Oh, Ricky's the one that did this, and
he's like a placeholder.
Yeah, he's their scapegoat.
Yeah,
and so they don't get in trouble. And he also, as they've kept this mysterious fake figure alive through their adult life. And anytime they want to get out of a mother-in-law's coming into town, or my girlfriend's friend is getting married and I don't want to go to the wedding, they just say, oh, Ricky's sick. The cancer's back. We have to go be there for Ricky. And all three of them will fly out to go to some concert. Oh, they at the beginning of the movie they go to a Mark Ribier concert.
Cameo.
Yeah, they go.
Small little cameo.
Yeah, they'll go to. I don't know. They'll go to Dollywood together, just for fun.
Yeah.
And Jack says they shot that in Melbourne. Interesting.
Oh.
And so that's basically the idea. And at some point, their family is, I can't believe you missed this. It was like the birth of one of their child.
Yeah.
The wife goes into labor early. And this happens within the first 10 minutes of the movie, so it's not a spoiler. But they're like, how come we haven't seen Ricky? All these years we haven't seen Ricky. And supposedly he has cancer and you have to fly out to this hospital in Albany. We called every hospital in Albany. They don't have a Ricky Stenicki there. And they're like, shit, what are we going to do? So they hire John Cena to play their friend. And they have, through the decades, they have what they call the Bible. And it's all the details about Ricky Stenicki. Oh, they flew here. They did this.
His life.
Yeah, he went.
Well, it's very elaborate because they tell him that he's like this philanthropic. He helps out in Africa. He does all this stuff, all this charity work.
Yeah,
he's an enigma.
Yeah, he's
of a person,
a very interesting character, and they want to make sure their story is right, so they have the Bible. So they give the Bible to John Cena's character, who's this actor.
So he can study it.
And be Ricky Stenicki, because he's going to show up to the bris. Very apt discussion based off our circumcision talk earlier.
Son of a bitch.
And Jeff Ross plays the Moyle. He's great. He's great in this. And John Cena's character is Rotten Rod or something like that, or...
It's a Rock Hard Rod.
Rock Hard Rod, because
what
he does, his main gig, how he makes his money in Atlantic City, is he performs X-rated covers of musicians' songs. So he'll dress up as Britney Spears singing a sex song about "Hit Me Baby One More Time," but it's about jacking off. Like every single song is about jacking off.
Yeah.
I won't quote any of them because that was probably the funniest scene in the entire movie. John Cena, 100% committed to the role, dressed up as
a bunch of different
Alice
artists.
Cooper. And
this is on Hulu?
No, Amazon Prime.
Oh, Amazon Prime. Oh,
straight to Prime. This is a straight to Prime. I don't know if it even got a theatrical release or not. Yeah, and it's hard to grade a comedy because comedy is so subjective. So rating a comedy movie is hard.
Sure.
But I think the milestone, like the indicator you have to use, is did it make you laugh? And I laughed almost the entire movie. The first 5-10 minutes. Oh, geez. Easy.
Cosmo fell off.
Easy, Cosmo.
Bed.
The first 5-10 minutes of the movie, the setup for it was, I don't know, it just felt very stilted. And people are saying, oh yeah, Zac Efron's great in this. Zac Efron sucks in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's a shame.
He looks like his face is Botox to the point where he can't give any emotions.
Yeah, he's probably coming off of the Iron Claw.
Yeah, he still looks like he's got that square Easter Island head. Yeah. And he just, maybe it could be a direction thing because his emotions are so muted. But later on in the movie, he emotes some and he does pretty well. So when he's going over the top, he's fine. But
all the emotions he saved for Iron Claw.
Yeah, there we go. But John Cena, I think he rushes through his lines a little bit. He's he's quick to shoot off his lines very fast and very small nitpicks. But ultimately, the story is ridiculous and it's funny. And it goes in places that I didn't expect. And it puts them in ridiculous situations. Something About Mary is like this Schadenfreude movie where it's like this poor bastard, which is, I think, Farrelly Brothers also. This poor bastard is in bad situation after bad situation. Yeah. And instead of one guy in that movie, it's all three of the friends in this. And they just get put in worse and worse situations because of Ricky Stenicki.
Oh, William H. Macy also in this.
Yeah, William H. Macy. And the other thing,
he was. You know what? I think I saw a TikTok about this movie before.
Wonderful. Cool. It just came out, so it's probably in the zeitgeist now. So
okay. Yeah, no, yes.
So anyways, would I recommend this movie? If you like juvenile humor, poop and fart jokes, boner jokes, circumcision jokes, masturbation jokes, or anything of that ilk, and you can laugh at something like that, turn your brain off, revert back to when Jackass was the funniest thing on TV. If that is your mode, this is for you. I thought it was perfectly fun, way better than it should have been. Wow.
That's a very convincing argument for this movie.
I guess if that's your thing, it is. But there's a huge population of our listeners that are going to like hate this movie, like absolutely hate this movie. So you watched it, Joseph?
Yeah, I fall in the same camp as you. It's a movie that if it could have come out in like 2005, and it would fit within the type of comedy that was at the time in the 2000s, because it's written that way. The premise of the movie, which I think is a really cool and interesting premise.
Yeah,
it's like ripe for the conflict that the movie has, where it's now we've put ourselves in this situation where we've fucked ourselves. Yeah, we fucked around and now we're finding out.
We're in the find out stage now. Yeah,
and it's very juvenile. But that's Farrelly Brothers movies. I really enjoy Dumb and Dumber is a classic, and I really enjoy Me, Myself, and Irene, even if it is like probably very absurd.
Yeah,
but it's just so goofy. And this one is like, it's definitely goofy. But John Cena is probably like the funniest part of the whole movie.
He's good. Yeah.
And Zac Efron, he didn't bother me at all. He was just there.
Yeah.
Like he didn't give any. It wasn't like a good performance, but I didn't think it was like. I didn't think it was terrible.
I didn't like.
I thought he was just like, he was there.
Yeah,
he's one of the main characters.
He's in this movie officially.
Yeah, he's in the movie.
Tino's funny though.
But yeah, he was good. I liked his background, like the whole his main gig, and like we get like we see like the montage of it, and then it comes back later in the movie where he's dressed as what's that guy's name? The guy from the 80s, I can't remember, but he's Boy George, I think.
Boy George.
Who's Santino's character?
No, John Cena.
Oh, guys, like I don't remember that at all.
No.
Yeah,
and Santino was funny. It's just weird seeing him in this movie because I'm only used to him seeing he's a comedian, and I've only ever seen him like do a little bit of stand up and mostly on Bad Friends. So it's weird to see him in a movie.
From the clips that I've seen from this movie, like he's a pretty good actor. He's a good comedic actor.
He's good, yeah. He has a small part in Fool's Paradise, that Charlie Day movie that came out recently.
Oh yeah.
And he also has a pretty decent sized part in the Lil Dicky Hulu series called Dave.
Oh yeah.
And he's really good.
He's in that? Wow.
He's really good.
Usually has like bit parts. Like he's like in one episode of The Office.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
what?
He's also in Curb when he's
that's interesting.
Like one of the more recent seasons, but yeah, it's if you like what you said, if you like dick and fart jokes, then you'll like this movie. Yeah,
and then I got to give a shout out to Jermaine Fowler as well. He plays the interesting thing about the Farrelly Brothers movies too is that there's a lot of representation in their movies historically.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so one of the friends is gay, and his boyfriend, his longtime boyfriend, it has like a MS or something, so he walks with like arm crutches, like Walt Jr. from Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
and never comments on it. They never comment it. Like somebody makes a gay joke at his expense, and he goes, "Oh, it's because
I'm gay.
It's because I'm gay, right? That's funny." Yeah, and they all just roll their eyes at the guy that makes the joke. So the people making fun of the gay guy are the joke in this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's at the very end the whole thing is leading up to this merger, like at their work. And there's some financial institution. They're going
investment firm.
They're going to do a merger. And one of the key players, like the senior partners at the firm that they're trying to merge with, is a little person. Again, never commented on. And then
and even there's a person in like one of their meetings who is like in a wheelchair.
She has like a atrophied sort of body, very like small body, and has to control like the movement of the chair with a little joystick. And again, never comment on. And I respect that. And in Something About Mary, there's, are you okay? Are you about to get us canceled right now?
Are you making fun of, are you laughing at disabled?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And in Something About Mary, Warren is Mary's younger brother. Bigger brother, but younger brother. I think he's younger, but maybe he's older.
Either way. The headphones, right?
Yeah, and he's like pretty heavily mentally disabled. And in real life, the Farrelly brothers, they're one of their really good friends. Their older brother was also heavily like mentally disabled, and
really?
Yeah, they just went everywhere with him. He was just part of the crew, and they would fuck with him just like they would fuck with anybody else. There was like no difference between him and someone else. So when they wrote Warren into Something About Mary, a lot of people were pissed, and they're like, why can't he be one of our characters? and why can't his differences...
Is he in the movie?
No, he's basically almost a copy paste of their friend they grew up with.
Oh, okay, so they just modeled him after
Correct.
their friend. Okay.
But there was backlash there. They're like, oh, you're making fun of this disabled person. They're like, no, we're giving him equal time. We're treating him as equals, like other people say that they're treating him like equals. We actually are.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like this movie. I thought it was very good. I would recommend it to people. It's 3.5 star movie. There's quite a bit of bad stuff in there that's just not really well made. But it's fair. It's funny, and it's a base level bro frat house comedy. So, and it works in that regard. So
yeah,
John Cena is, I don't know. I think he's fantastic. He's super funny. After Peacemaker in this, there's no way to deny that he has comedic chops.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Great in Peacemaker.
Yeah. So anything else you want to say, Joseph, about that?
No, yeah, it's same thing. It's just like if you are not someone who enjoys that type of humor, then you're not gonna like it.
Nice. Jack says that Santino's also in a show called I'm Dying Up Here, and it's a stand-up comedy show. So okay. I wonder if is that the Pete Holmes one, Jack? I think Pete Holmes is like the main character.
Jack, what are you doing? I think this late?
We talked about this before. It's like 10 a.m. there.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. But tomorrow.
Is it how many hours ahead? 23?
It's like 21, I think. 21 or 20 and a half. Because he's in a weird time zone where it's actually 22 and a half hours ahead of us or something.
Jack, is it true that the time zones within Australia are all over the place? Because you can drive from the south part of Australia and be like an hour ahead of the north part of Australia? I don't know. I saw a diagram like yesterday, and I was like, "Is that how it is? It's like cut up like that." It's weird.
Well, I'm sure he'll answer us promptly.
He's feverishly typing his response now.
He's just like, Jesus Christ, you put me on the spot.
Yeah, he's. Hold on a second. Where is this, sir?
I was stoked by that.
He says it's not that bad. Some states have slightly less time zones or slightly different time zones.
It's so weird because the country is so small. There's 3 time zones within Australia.
The country is huge.
It's huge.
Australia?
Yeah, it's huge. Yes. That continent is massive.
Like compared to the U.S.?
It's like this. It's like
in the
2/3 the size of the United States.
Yeah, maybe.
It's gigantic. It's like driving from.
Edge to edge. How long would it take you to drive?
Edging to edging. Tyler hates that stoked line.
I was stoked by that.
Why? You sound like a right Californian.
Bro, we're massive. If you have to say you're massive, then I don't know if that's true.
I think it feels just right. The big ones hurt. Famous last words.
God damn it.
All right. Anything else you guys want to say?
Oh, I think that's
nope.
Okay, so thank you to everyone in the chat. We actually had a really vibrant YouTube live chat for our first YouTube live. Thanks for sticking with us through
Thank you very much.
all the
circumcision.
Well, yeah, that too. But I was gonna say the technical difficulties we had at the beginning. It's all new. There's 3 different moving pieces you have to get, and they have to be just right to get it to work right.
Yeah.
And but yeah, thank you for sticking through the circumcision talk.
Yes,
through all of our unedited Michigan. And thank you to our cool ass yard duties on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather Sachs, Ryan Corbin, and Chris. We've got the technical aspects that will be the stream along will be done through YouTube Live. I have one more test I need to do that I will do later on today. Once I've confirmed that works right, we're going to have a private room. We're going to do a watch along with Cade at the Tortured Crossing, the new Neil Breen joint. And if you want to get in on that or get your movie on the wheel of destiny for $5, you can be a cool class clown. It's patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass. But just watching here on YouTube Live or YouTube later on, not live, that helps as well.
All right, Jack, you're right. Australia's pretty big. I'm looking at it compared to the U.S., and it's a lot bigger than I thought.
Yeah. Is it about 2/3 the size of the United States, or is it bigger?
It takes up, it's this picture of Australia stacked on top of the U.S., and it takes up most of it.
Wow, nice. That doesn't count Alaska, though. So
true. Or Hawaii.
And the massive landmass that is Hawaii. So until next time. Thank you for joining us, everybody. I don't know if we're going to stream the review episode later on today, but maybe we will. We'll try it on YouTube Live, or we won't. Follow us later on in the week in Podcast Land as we review Hard Ticket to Hawaii, which was great. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC Podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and please follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class, and leave us a voicemail, why don't you, at 209-730-6010.
And follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
All right, see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here. The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later. See you later. That's a wrap.
Great show.